As you guys know, COVID's spiking again, or the variants of COVID. And remember how brilliant viruses are in terms of the global mind. They're going to find a way around all obstacles, and by obstacles I mean anything that will prevent them from infecting you. So you're looking at, as Rubik Sheldrake would say, a morphogenetic field. So these viruses are communicating with each other via that field. We use the same field in technical remote viewing. So viruses can avail themselves of that as a collective consciousness. But it's a fight, it's a real fight. And we may end up not being as intelligent as this particular virus. We'll see. But as I've mentioned before in previous videos, 6 months or more ago, guys, this thing is coming back with a vengeance. And it has, in Brazil and Italy particularly right now. And it's going to come back here in North America with a vengeance, as I mentioned before. So get ready for that once again, as well as lockdowns. And that's the long and the short of it. There's nothing more I can say to warn you against what's coming. And this time it will be worse because the virus is smarter. Now, about 30% nominally of the cases that are registered are flu. They're just the flu. You know, as I mentioned, you know this, what happened to the flu? Well, it's still there, but it's being registered as COVID by the powers that be, the World Economic Forum, as a control mechanism. Take advantage of a crisis. Don't let a crisis go to waste. They haven't let this crisis go to waste. And it's a means for them to accelerate the New World Order, the global reset. Now put yourself in the mind of the virus, all right? The corporate, collective mind of this swarm intelligence. This is what I would do. This is one of the things I would do were I this viral mind. I would catch everybody by surprise. I would purposely remain latent, develop a latency, and then watch when all these kids go home and are infected. Now, to compare this with mad cow disease, bovine spongiform encephalopathy, which remains latent in the human brain for up to 10 years, all right? So there's a latency there that's quite intelligent and effective. So you don't know that you've been infected until it's too late. It's difficult to know why these spikes are occurring, because I think one of the key questions vis-a-vis that particular situation is these variants are still changing. The coronavirus variants are still in the process of adapting to the situation that humans and other animals, you know, are presenting it with. So it's too early to say, but using remote viewing and looking ahead, one of the biggest problems that I see is not COVID itself, because herd immunity will eventually be reached, but it's the control mechanisms that the powers that be are taking to really cause the disintegration of society as we know it. So I would be more concerned about that than catching COVID. Folks, if you catch COVID, you're going to be sick. 0.01% of you will die, all right? Particularly the elderly. But you'll get sick and you'll recover and you'll have natural antibodies in your system for easily 6 months to a year or more. For instance, antibodies to other diseases like smallpox and things like that are in your system for 10 years. Your body remembers the toxicological insult and takes care of it. It's a complex situation, but nothing is as scrambled in terms of the society as we know it as one group of people taking precautions and another not. The states, for instance, in our country, where lockdowns have not prevailed, there is natural immunity that is now present among that population. And then you have places where lockdowns occur and the body can't develop any natural immunity because it's getting injected with a vaccine that's experimental. It has some serious consequences. Vaccines, plural. serious consequence. So it's a complex situation. Indeed, all I can say is that having looked ahead using technical remote viewing, what I'm perceiving in terms of mass populations is not so much the disease, which is a complex issue. It's the control mechanisms by the global reset bankers and the governments that are really creating a disaster in terms of societal collapse. People have squeezed the last amount of loans and money they can out of this particular situation because they've lost their jobs, already have no money. You're going to see some crisis situations, and I mean, it's a greater threat than the virus itself.